Hello everyone. In this video, I will explain how to create a photo shoot from photos of items like these and prepare it for video creation. So, what was our task? A client sent me images of various items such as this dress, earrings, bag, boots, and a reference like this, and said that it should be some kind of European background with a model walking down the street and posing. Overall, there's nothing complicated about it. These are the results I got. Most likely, when I generate something now, I'll get a different result, but that's not so important. The main thing now is for you to understand how the mechanics of creating images like these work and figure out how to actually do it. The first thing we need to do is create an image like this, which essentially means creating a virtual influencer and dressing that influencer in this specific outfit. Only after we have an image like this will we start working with it and changing different poses. So, how do you do it? I use ChatGPT to create a prompt, but you can also use Gemini. I use ChatGPT because I already have some results here, and it's easier for me to create a prompt this way. I describe the task to it. An important point is that I am not a native English speaker, but I try to write all my prompts in English because, at the very least, I am learning English, and I also believe that AI understands English better. In addition, people from different countries may watch this video, and it may be easier for them to understand how simple it is to do. Well, I also want to clarify that, as you can see, even my clumsy English is basically understood by ChatGPT. Now look at what we need to do. In the current case, we have 3 images. Let's see what prompt ChatGPT will write for us, and then we can make changes if needed. Next, look, I take a screenshot of the image as an example and use it as a reference. So I specify, add a description of the environment to the prompt and use this image as a reference. You can use any picture, for example, the one your client gave you, or something that is a good example of what you need. In this situation, I need to get a description of the environment. And by the way, I forgot to add that the client told me that the model should be European. In general, ChatGPT is already quite good at writing prompts, especially when you do it several times, and it will be great. Now I'll write the final prompt. Let's see what we get. Okay, by the way, it should be added that clothes and other items should not be changed. Final prompt. While GPT is writing the prompt, I'll go to Gemini where we'll generate the image. I have these images already prepared here. Yes, the first 3 images are a dress, then boots, earrings, and a bag. Okay, let's see what we get. Actually, this video may be a little long, but I think that's where the value lies, in showing exactly how the whole process works. As I said earlier, no one really comes up with prompts off the top of their head. Let's see what Gemini generates for us now. Here, look, you have the fast option. This is the previous model, called Nano Banana. This model, Thinking, is more modern, Nano Banana 2. You can start with it. And then you can change models. In fact, sometimes the first Nano Banana performs better than the new one. But in most cases, the Thinking model is better. Let's see what the result will be. And actually, I think it's not bad in general. I'll probably copy it here now to compare. By the way, I didn't get the right image the first try. I shared it with the client for review, but they said the bag was different and there were some other differences too. This is really important, so you can sometimes generate it a few times, using the same prompt, just re-enter the prompt, and it will work fine. Let's compare the results. Overall, it's not bad, but you see, by the way the handbag was generated inaccurately, there are differences. However, I think it did a good job with the dress. It looks similar. Let me check. Yes, it looks similar in general. The earrings are similar, but there are also differences. I think it would take too long to go into detail now, but the idea is clear. And by the way, what I don't like here is that the background takes up too much space in the image, and the focus is not on the model. So I'll add some changes to the prompt. So yes, as I said, this background is a bit too aggressive and it will distract attention. I will save this result for future comparison. Now, let's do the same thing again, upload the images and so on. Sometimes you can skip uploading the images, but it's better to do it to be sure of the result. Well, by the way, I don't like this version as much, but as an example to better understand the process and how it works, I think this example is better. You will now understand why. The dress is similar, the bag is similar, basically everything is similar to the previous generation, but still with some changes. The main point now is to understand how it works. Let's move on to the next stage. We made this first picture where the person is just standing straight. I would start by having the model walk. This is necessary for creating videos in the future based on these images. Let's see what kind of frame we get here. So, this is the result we got, and in my opinion, it's great. Now, let's take as an example the video that the client sent me as a reference. In it, the model walks, sits, that is, there are different shooting angles, and so our task is to generate a few more images with different poses and angles. So now let's add the following changes to prompt again. I think that's how I wrote it last time. Let's try it and see how it goes. The reference could be better, but again, right now I want to show how it works first and foremost. By the way, I forgot to mention about the texts. If you want to write in your native language, go ahead. AI understands everything. I just write in English because I translate the videos later. Well, we got this one, but overall, I'd change it up a bit. Let's try placing the model near the wall. The last one is not bad, but it could be better. Well, basically, okay, let it be. Here, by the way, she put her purse down, but the idea is that if I had taken a different reference, it would have been done more correctly. The main idea is this. You have a basic model, and you find a reference and specify that the model should be in a pose like the one in picture 2. So now let's generate this angle. It's from one of my previous generations. It turned out well, so let's do this one too. Let's see if Gemini understands what needs to be generated with this girl. There are 2 different models here. The images are similar, and the prompts were the same. But let's see what we get. Well, it didn't generate the pose we needed, but okay, let's keep it for the collection. By the way, it will also work for the video. She will be posing in it, and so on. Now let's do this angle. I have this reference for it. So now we take and add images in order as specified in the prompt. The boots didn't turn out as expected, and there is a different girl in the image. In that case, let's try another prompt. This time it worked. Again, writing something like, "When a girl walks, we see boots" in the prompt is also an option. But in this video, I want to show that everything is done by making changes to the prompt and through references. That is, I don't come up with the prompt from scratch. I mostly make edits and add image examples. Gemini already recognizes images quite well overall. Now I also need another image where the face to show earrings. So, well, basically these earrings look similar. Let me copy them here. Let's see. Although the earrings are similar, they are not quite the same, but again, it will be possible to regenerate them there later. And now, I also wanted to take a view of the dress from behind. This is how it turned out, but to be honest, it doesn't really suit me. I need a slightly different format, similar to the one I generated earlier, because in the video, the girl will be walking away into the distance. This image is good. I saved it just in case, but let's try to get a different result. Here's the result. Not bad, but, well, it doesn't always work perfectly the first time, but the main thing is that you understand the process. Let's summarize briefly. First, I took the references sent to me by the client and specified for the prompt that it was necessary to generate a model, dress it in these clothes, without changing the clothes, fabric, texture, and so on. Then I added a reference image and specified the creation of mood, environment, background, and so on. You can pause there and read it, but in fact, you need to experiment a little here, but in 30 minutes, you will be able to create a prompt that is suitable for your task. Next, I got this image, re-uploaded it, and started changing the poses. To do this, I found other references and specified that image 1 was the original image and image 2 was the pose, and I needed the pose in the original image to be the same as in image 2. After several attempts, the result turned out quite well. This is enough to make a photo shoot like this. In the next videos, I will show you how to create a video for Reels using these materials.